What do you think is the mindset of a really successful entrepreneur?
It's many things. It cannot be one exclusive thing, but I think patience is a key mindset for an entrepreneur to have because most of the item or most of what you are trying to implement has never been done before. So you cannot give a time frame to something that you never done before, you never tried before. So I think patience is definitely one of them. Number two is people skill, how to communicate to people. There are some ideas that might be good on paper, but if you cannot communicate it to people, it's kind of hard to bring team together. So just on
Yeah.
top of the back, like I was saying, patience, having people skill is definitely something to look out for.
I mean, that just rings a bell in my mind and reminds me of something that somebody said, like, to get something you never had, you need to do something you never
Done
done
before.
before.
Yeah.
So, and when you mention about being a good person in communication, having communication skills, it reminds me of a conversation that I had with my manager last week. He told me, like, Jonathan, there's something that you need to learn if you want to go farther in your career and in your life, wherever you are. You need to know how to articulate.
Yeah.
You need to know how to communicate better. And in articulation, it's more about put your words together and give the right information, because people lay in what you tell them. If your information is not correct and you don't know how to explain to people what you've done, they cannot, they cannot trust what you say. I love that. Taylor, what do you think about it?
Definitely. I would say a key entrepreneur must know the art of communication. And not only that, but you must, because every entrepreneur has a vision that they want the people to understand. But you must be able to communicate and then instill that vision onto other people so that they can follow that the same passion that you have.
Great. What about you, Mordecai?
Well, Taylor said it best. That's what I was thinking about. If you have something, a plan, like even a constructor, you know, I usually put things together, right? We get airplane parts into pieces. You have to put them together. So you have a plan. So an engineer has an idea. So there are some people who have to put it together piece by piece. So you have to be able to communicate it very well. If they don't communicate their idea very well, everything will be messed up, right? You know, I'm going to put this tongue in the back. You're going to put the exhaust tube in the front. It doesn't work like that. So they have to be able to express themselves very well so people can understand what they want to accomplish. So you can, people in the world, they can sell you any ideas. Why? Because they know how to express themselves very well. You know, back in the days, people thought smoking was right. It was good. But why did people thought it was good, even though some people say it was bad? Because the people that were selling it knew how to sell it to you. They would give you the idea, oh, this is great. Just the way they communicated it, people believed it. So communication is very, very important. Yeah.
So tell me one thing. What is entrepreneurship?
Well, the concept of it is very simple. It's just the idea of starting something. You know, I think for most of us, though, the word entrepreneurship is a little bit like taboo because we came from a society that was kind of, you know, hand down to us where parents said, hey, go to school, study ABC, and then you'll be all right. Perhaps it was the greatest piece of advice that we could have received at that particular time. But now that we've come to places like America where the system is very dynamic, you know, you went to school to become a doctor. The next thing you know that your job is being performed by a machine. So if you're not willing to learn, if you're not willing to be dynamic in your decisions and into learning new skills and spend your knowledge, you'll get stuck. So, entrepreneurship, very simple. The idea of starting or building something from the ground up. Sometimes it can be an idea that you've seen other people do, but you never done it yourself. To just pick it up, picking up people's mind, people's brain, to be able to put it all together and create something beautiful.
With that being said, can you tell us a bit about yourself, Grace, and what path has drawn you here into the entrepreneurship journey you're on?
Right. Grace Matumbo, and I'm from the DRC, Congo, Kinshasa. And I came in the US in about 2006. Did some of my high school here, some of my college here. And The very first 15 years or so of my youth, I spent them in Georgia, in Atlanta. And then about 6 years ago, when I got married, I decided to move to Texas. And one of the things that you will notice as you are pulling into Texas is how big this place is.
Massive.
And then
True.
not
It
only it's
is.
big, it seems like
Everything in
everybody's up to
Texas.
something.
Mhm.
And if you have to compare Texas to Georgia, Texas is like it's a big,
Yeah.
This
you
whole
know,
country.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
for somebody like me, it was very challenging,
Mm.
trying to figure out like everybody's up to something, but I'm up to nothing.
Mhm.
What will I then do? Professionally, I've always been in the IT field for many, many years.
Mhm.
And I wanted something a little bit out of myself. Started asking myself some difficult question. Who am I? What is it that I want to do? What am I created for?
Mhm.
To say the least, that I found it very easy to just, I find it rather satisfying to be able to just do things on your own. You're in control of your time. And I started putting some businesses together. I do run a tax office, tax consultant. I'm a tax strategist.
Mhm.
I do run a brokerage service with tracking.
Mhm.
I'm also in real estate. I'm a licensed realtor
Mhm.
here in the state of Texas, also in the state of
Wonderful.
Georgia.
Mhm.
And I'm also doing some real estate development in the DRC.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, and I'm pretty sure I probably forgot to mention something about myself, but I'm sure with time it will
You're a
come
preacher.
along.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
a preacher. Thank you.
I mean,
There
that's
you go.
that's
There
that's
you go.
great. I mean, you have a really inspirational life where you are an entrepreneur, a businessman, getting yourself starting in IT. First of all, I want to just get back into that. How did you shift from IT to entrepreneurship, getting into tax? Because you were in IT.
Yeah.
How did you find yourself in tax?
That's a very good question. So the IT portion is kind of like I'm trying to put bread on my table.
Okay.
But I don't think I really have passion for just sitting out there coding or anything like that. But it's when you can do it, it's rather satisfying because the money is good. But I think my passion sort of kind of like is mostly into real estate. I love building. I love constructions. I love structures, and I just love the whole planning idea. Now, where does that lead me? The real estate industry can affect a lot of industries. It affects transportations, infrastructures, finances, things like that. If you are building, you are amassing a lot of wealth. Whether you like it or not, you're going to be dealing a lot with IRS.
Yeah.
So if you know how to see what type of taxes applies to you, it can expand your knowledge. So I've always been one of those people that if something is interesting, I will want to learn it. So that's how I was able to acquire this knowledge of taxes, knowledge of transportation. Because if you are building, you have to be able to move one piece
Location.
You are moving one piece of item from one place to the other. So if you know a little bit about transportation, you might be able to predict the outcome of your logistics around what you're trying to build and things of that nature.